Hi there, Andy Miller here from Calvary Church in Claremorris. Do you ever find yourself really busy, running around in a flap, too many things to do and not enough time in the day to do them, bitten off more than you can chew? Well, whenever Martha invited 13 men over for dinner, she was busy and she was in a flap. And she was running around frantically in the kitchen, trying to get things sorted out. Jesus and his disciples were coming, and half the town would be looking in over the fence. And what made matters worse is that whenever the guests did arrive, her sister Mary was just sitting there listening to Jesus and chatting with the guests. And Martha was getting more and more annoyed. And eventually she burst into the room where the guests were, and she said, "Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me." Now the peace was broken. Now she had got it out of her system. Jesus said, "Martha, Martha, you're worried and upset about many things, but only one thing is needed. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." Now you might think that Martha had a point. She wanted dinner to be just right. It was a lovely thing to invite Jesus and his disciples over for dinner and to host them and to prepare a meal for them. She didn't want to serve them some slop or some burnt up offering. She wanted it to be just right. Why wouldn't her sister Mary help her? Well, what Jesus said is that there needs to be balance. There needs to be balance. Yes, there were preparations to be made. Yes, a meal had to be prepared, but there would be time for that later. The more important thing was to spend time with Jesus. See, Martha was so busy working for Jesus that she didn't have time to spend with Jesus. Now, what about you? Maybe you think, well, I wouldn't have time to be a Christian. I've got work and family, a house to look after. I've got hobbies and sports and many commitments. I wouldn't have time to be a Christian. Well, Jesus says that only one thing is needed, and there'll be time for everything else later. See, Jesus died on the cross for you so that you can be reconciled to God. He loves you and he wants you in his family, and he wants the first place in your life. Maybe you are a Christian already, but life has become really busy and you've become more and more focused on doing things for Jesus and on working for Jesus than spending time with Jesus. Maybe you've become overwhelmed by the busyness of life and you haven't had time just to sit and to spend time with Jesus. Well, don't forget to stop and to sit to Jesus and to spend time with him. Time with Jesus will be time well spent. And when we spend time with Jesus, we'll find that there's plenty of time to do all the other things that need to be done.